I start tonight with big news on Capitol Hill. My sources are now telling me with every detail you'd want, this week-long battle that we've had, this political battle in our nation's capital, is now almost over. Kevin McCarthy is now on the verge of becoming the next Speaker of the House. He is now just really 2 votes away from securing the gavel based on the votes that I know. And when the House goes back into session sometime in the next few minutes, it appears that he is on a path to get the votes. Take a look for yourself.
Mr. McCarthy, do you think you'll have the votes to be elected Speaker tonight?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
And you'll be able to flip Rosendale and Crane?
I'll have the votes.
What were their concerns?
Because I count.
Pretty funny. Let me be clear about one thing. Do I wish that this week's negotiations had been wrapped up behind closed doors, all done, wrapped in a nice bow before January 3rd, before this week? Yeah, I kind of wish that. I bet all of you wish that as well, right? But am I angry at the group of Republican lawmakers from the Freedom Caucus that I've always supported, that fought for assurances that we were not going to get another John Boehner, another weak leader as Speaker? I'm glad we're not going to have that as well. Kevin McCarthy is not John Boehner. He already signed his name, as you know, we've gone over it, to the Commitments to America with a long list of America First promises and policies. We have gone through all of that in great detail. He also agreed to a 1-vote threshold for a motion to vacate. And that means any one Republican can now force a vote, sort of like a no-confidence vote, to oust the Speaker of the House, again, if he doesn't live up to the promises that he has made to his fellow colleagues and to you, the American people. If he turns into John Boehner Jr., just one member can force a vote and he can be removed from office. I don't think we're going to have that happen. I think they're all united in an agenda that I think most conservatives will like. Now, McCarthy also reportedly agreed to add Freedom Caucus members to the all-important Rules Committee. He agreed to hold individual votes on each of the 12 appropriations bills and exclude earmarks from any bills. He also agreed to hold a vote on term limits for members of Congress and a vote on very specific legislation surrounding border security. That is necessary, and a vote on a balanced budget amendment, along with a 72-hour notice before holding a vote on any specific piece of legislation. Wouldn't it be nice if they actually read it before they voted on it? Now, other assurances surrounding the debt limit have reportedly also been secured, including caps on discretionary spending and a ban on any bill that increases spending without greater or equal offsets. Now, it's time for them to get to work. It's time to conduct oversight. It's time to hold the Biden administration accountable. For the first time in 2 years, our country needs leadership desperately. Now, we need the investigations to commence, including probes into the Biden family syndicate. Don't you think it's time? I think it's time. We need to find out if our FBI has any political bias. We need to know if there is weaponization of the law at our Department of Justice, malfeasance at the CDC. We need an investigation. Would you all agree into Anthony Fauci? I'd like to know what he knew and when he knew it. What about Alejandro Mayorkas, our Homeland Security Secretary? He says the border's secure. We had 5 million people come in the last 2 years illegally, and, of course, all the mayhem at the southern border. Then we had the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, so much more. All of that now will be investigated the way it should be. Now, can Republicans fix our federal government overnight? They cannot. But they can shine a light on its failures, all the misdeeds. They can hold people accountable. They can hold their feet to the fire. And for the first time now in 2 years, they can finally say no to stop Joe Biden. This is the guy that doesn't know today's Friday, and his reckless agenda right in its tracks. You agree with me, right? Did you? How many people think that Joe Biden knows today's Friday? Okay, not a single person. Great audience.